Rochdale 13 with Alan Kilshaw ahead of the Hemel Stags League One fixture on Sunday. First off though, it was a hard fought win at Newcastle last week. Have you had any further reflection on the game?
Yeah, it was a tough game, it was a scrappy game. We knew we'd possibly be a little bit undercut, and the sharpness might not be there from a couple of returning players, and it was always a bit of a worry, a bit of a danger game, with just probably having one game in a 3-4 week period, and they're good on their own patch, and if you give them some ball and invite them to play, then they've got some players who can really hurt you. And we control large periods of the game, and just those little mental lapses or just those smarts that were lacking at times. I think there was a stage in the game where we'd scored back-to-back tries after the half-time period, and we were totally dominant, and then we came up with a couple of errors, unforced errors, and it just invited them back into the game. And doubling up that, with giving penalties, it was frustrating at times, but like I say, we will build on the positives, and we'll work on those to iron out those little negative things, this weekend and beyond, and hopefully we will start improving and showing those signs of improvement, and if not, we'll have to look at changing the team or bringing in different personnel.
And you made some selection changes ahead of last Sunday's game. Obviously Dave Cookson came back from a lengthy injury, and Ryan Manili debuted alongside Toby King. Do you think that was the correct squad that you took to Newcastle? Yeah,
well, we don't make any decisions lightly. Myself and the coaching staff, we discuss them at length and debate, and we don't always agree on things, and that's not always, in my opinion, that always gets the vote. We talk and we discuss it, as all coaching teams do, and we felt we picked the right side for Sunday, and we made a couple of big changes there, and we just felt we wanted to get the best out of those players and for their performances, and we thought we were happy with what we chose and those little changes that we made, and there won't be many changes again going into this weekend. We won't call on dual registration this weekend because we feel we've got a fully fit squad. We've got a new signing in the squad as well, and we want to give our players the opportunity to play and stay consistent leading into the next 3 weeks before we get the break before the Super 8s.
And just touching on Sunday, obviously we faced a long trip to Hemel in the last of the mid-season tour games. Are you excited to get out down there and right a few wrongs from previous away trips?
Yeah, well, we're certainly getting some road miles up over the last few weeks, and when you look at it now, that break after York, so we didn't have 3 away games on the bounce, which we've had in previous seasons. Well, it's going to be a tough game. They've got some notoriously really aggressive players, and I wouldn't read too much into their result at Barrow last week. They've had a lot of players on international duty playing in the student Four Nations, so they'll have a different side out, and they'll be pinpointing this game as a game where they want to show their worth again in the competition, and the game's strong in the south. They've moved on a lot in the last few seasons. They've been in the National League 3 and different competitions, and since they've been in this competition, they've gone all right. And Troy will have them fired up, and they've got some aggressive players, and it's going to be a physical game. It's a tight pitch, and we need to be on our mettle. We need to go there with the right attitude, and again, we're looking to improve, and look, it's our second week back after a bit of a break, and I expect that sharpness to be back, and we've trained well and we've prepared well, and we are excited. Yeah, it's that last away game of this stretch, and I think our record's pretty good compared to previous seasons if we get the win this weekend.
And one of the standout performers at Newcastle last week was Joe Philbin. He's been consistently good when we've had him on dual reds this year. Obviously news broke this week that he's been loaned to Bradford. Just wondered what you made of that situation.
Yeah, look, Warrington are always very open and honest with us, and we don't rely on them, and they don't rely on us, and Joe has been really good for us, and yeah, it's a little bit of a blow, but we anticipated it coming. It's not just a surprise in the week. A couple of Super League clubs interested in Joe to take him on loan, and Bradford, Warrington's got to do what's best for their players as well, and for him to be playing, you know, in the Championship a higher level than what we're in, and potentially playing against Super League teams when the Super 8s come and the split comes. You know, they'll feel it's probably a little bit better for his development at this stage of his career. Some of the thinking behind getting Josh in was that, knowing that the deadline's looming and Warrington potentially will keep hold of their players, or you know, they might be loaned out to other Super League clubs. So you know, it wasn't a huge surprise to us in the week. Joe has been really good on dual reg, and the players who have played this season, I think, have generally gone well. I thought Sam Wilde played very well on the weekend, as did Toby King. So we'll sit down with Warrington next week and have a look at players going into the next phase. But at the minute we've got a really healthy squad. Just 2 players injured, and obviously bringing Josh in has boosted that. So there's a lot of quality within our squad without relying on Warrington, and we haven't relied on them all year. And we keep those lines of communication open and keep working with them. And some of our players will play some reserve grade for them over the next few weeks, and potentially we might have some dual reg players next week off them if we need them.
And yeah, as you mentioned, Josh Crowley comes into the squad for weekend. How good will it be to take him down there? He's been away from rugby league for a while, but naturally he'll be chomping at the bit, ready to go, I imagine. Yeah,
first of all, I just want to mention a couple of members who made the transfer possible. Alan Tyson, Stephen Holt and Dave Scott, they've all contributed to his transfer fee, and other members have also pledged that they will contribute also. So with the club that we are, supporters owned club, we haven't got a big benefactor or a board of directors who are all wealthy and own their own businesses like other clubs in our competition, and we do rely heavily on members and member contributions. Without those we wouldn't have been able to get a quality player like Josh over the line, and also other players that we've picked up this season. Josh comes in refreshed, he's chomping at the bit, he's ready to go. He's seeing what Rochdale Hornets has to offer, and the culture and the environment of the place he's been really impressed by, and he's a championship standard player. So for him to come in and play for us in League One this year just shows how what a coup it is. And yeah, we're all looking forward to seeing him play on the weekend. We won't expect too much too early off him. We want to throw him straight in there this week and get some game time, because we've got 2 really important fixtures following this important fixture in the next 3 weeks before we get to the Super 8s. And if we can get him up to speed in the next 3 weeks, I think we'll see the best of him coming into the Super 8s.